2 extra factors of 5 make 25.
Watch the scene first. The math is built into the world, so the quantities can be seen before they are named. Here, our heron, Wren, navigates the exponential skybridge, where the path forward depends on the structure of the growth. The challenge is a matter of clarity. Often, an exponential equation bundles its factors together, obscuring the specific starting point or the actual rate of growth. To navigate this route, we use properties of exponents to transform expressions for exponential functions. By manipulating the algebraic structure of these expressions, we can isolate those specific growth factors and bring the starting values into view. The labels you'll see are evidence of the physical relationships in the environment. This allows us to observe the quantities at work before we formally name the mathematics. Wren arrives at the starting perch. She faces a shifted time interval, meaning the growth has already been running for 2 cycles before observation began. The environment is described by the expression 5 to the power of t plus 2. We can reveal the current scalar by applying the exponent rule. A to the power of m plus n is equal to a to the power of m times a to the power of n. Following that rule, 5 to the power of t plus 2 becomes 5 to the power of t times 5 squared. Since 5 squared is 25, that simplifies to 25 times 5 to the power of t. The physical path clears as the true starting scalar is revealed. 5 to the power of t plus 2 is equal to 25 times 5 to the power of t. Wren glides into the factor thermals. In this zone, the lift is generated by a steady, repeating multiplier not immediately obvious from the air currents. The relationship here is defined by 2000 times 1.03 to the power of t. The coefficient 2000 is the starting amount, representing the initial altitude. The base of 1.03 dictates multiplying the total by 1.03 for each passing year. That decimal multiplier represents a 3% increase each year. The function reveals 3% yearly growth because the base is 1.03. A weather shift brings Wren to a cloud formation.
A base of 1.03 means 3% yearly growth.
Moving through it requires isolating a single extra step of growth from the total power. The expression is 500 times 1.2 to the power of t plus 1. That extra plus 1 in the exponent represents a factor of growth that can be moved outside the power. We can break down the exponent using the product rule. 1.2 to the power of t plus 1 is equal to 1.2 to the power of t times 1.2. Now we multiply the factors outside the power, 500 and the newly isolated 1.2. This reveals an equivalent form of 600 times 1.2 to the power of t, which exposes the adjusted start. 500 times 1.2 to the power of t plus 1 equals 600 times 1.2 to the power of t. Preparing to land, Wren encounters 2 different mathematical forms of lift that describe the exact same outputs. We need to reconcile 400 times 2 to the power of t and 400 times e to the power of t times the natural log of 2. We can show they are the same using the identity a to the power of t is equal to e to the power of t times the natural log of a. Using a base of 2, we see that 2 to the power of t is equal to e to the power of t times the natural log of 2. Since these bases are equivalent, multiplying both by 400 ensures they produce the exact same results for any value of t. The 2 distinct forms are mathematically identical, stabilizing the landing zone. They are equivalent because 2 to the power of t is equal to e to the power of t times the natural log of 2. Looking back, the connected geography of the skybridge shows all 4 locations functioning as one continuous landscape. The fundamental process is matching animal action to the exact numbers and symbols in the scene. The environment shows the relationship and the notation records it. Rewriting exponential expressions is a tool for revealing the specific characteristics of growth, like the starting value or the percentage rate, that are otherwise grouped within the power. With these structural transformations complete, the mathematical relationships exist clearly in the open, and the environment is restored.
500 times 1.2 becomes 600.